All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Before you hear this next episode, we just wanted to let you know, one little bit of not a little bit, a whole bunch of the adult language. This will be the first one that we've put anything on the podcast here in the last couple of years that's had anything to do with any of the adult language. So y'all, you're gonna hear that live and in living color and in real time. This is dealing with one Miss Ashley Gonzalez, the Houston police officer, who was a police officer who was suspended. I don't believe she was fired. Again, somebody shot me out in the comments if she was fired. And I don't think she is. I think she's been administrative release and all that mess that massa does, right? To protect and hide racism and bigotry, right? And misogyny, all this kind of stuff, right? Because this is when you're looking for justice, family, don't look for it from massa. We're going to have to look for it from ourselves because they don't do that. They give you a little bit of it. Don't get me wrong. They'll put a couple people behind bars, but the idea is to put the righteous in jails and in prisons, not the other way around, okay? Because, again, we know a whole lot of government criminals on the books. They still walking around. Anyway, did y'all know, and just to put this out here while this woman is going back and forth about mess, do you know that it's still existing, as far as I know, again, somebody on the books, y'all let me know, shout it out in the comments, the Mexican hanging tree in Goliad, Texas. Y'all can look it up as you are listening to me right now, the Mexican hanging tree. They had no problem executing our Hispanic, Latin, the brown seed, as some of us call us, this part of humanity. The Mexican hanging tree. And this girl want to come out her mouth and talk about who a street or hood Negro is? They look at I want to be very clear. This is to the dark brown, tan skin tone folks. And again, we also dropped some information in the episode that even deals with how they look at their own, the pale and light skin tones. When we talk about greed, family, that entity don't give a damn, and we're all on the chopping block to deal in any kind of way using belief, anything to support anything that deals in that energy is dangerous, and it leads to division, destruction, and death. That's how that works. So this girl want to sit here and open up her mouth on the black community, the dark, brown, tan skin tone peoples who do not get down with that, including the pale and the light. It is time to stand up and be counted for. This is where you stand up with your brother and sister. This is where you say, sister, you wrong. This is where I got 5 black friends. This is where that time comes out where, hey, no. Whoever you talking about, 1, you can keep all that slurs out your mouth. That's 1. 2, right? This is why I don't get down with those slurs. I had a problem with Trick Williams during the WrestleMania, run up to WrestleMania with him running down Sami Zayn. You ain't got to do all that. Just go out there and beat the man. We don't have to call you out on your name. Again, we understand folks in the village and in the camp, right, in the town, in the city, et cetera, who are okay using these terms. That's your business. Everybody has a choice, right? But at the end of the day, over here, we, no. That ain't never led nowhere but to some other mess. And we don't need to be, when we go up in the community buildings, when we go up in the courthouses, when we go up in the townhouses, when we doing what we got to do to plan for our life, survival, and advancement of life and survival, I ain't got time to make fun of nobody. What I look like? No, we're good. All of them. It doesn't matter which culture. We're good. These things were said to degrade humanity. What the hell we look like trying to advance humanity, degrading humanity? That don't even work. So again, we don't want to. I ain't even hit the mute on this. We don't want to take up none of your time. Apologies, we went on a little bit. We hope that y'all like this episode, and we will talk to you soon. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, what it do, what's going on? April the 28th, right, for a little evening version of A Different View. family, today's topic is going to be a good one. All right. We're going to do this around a video that has been trending this week. Your boy's voice has been on the mend. We dealt with what normally happens this time of year when it goes cold and it goes hot, different places across the planet, right? Especially here in the United States, where you're going to have these weird seasons and we get these nasal colds and pollen is growing and all this kind of stuff. Again, we have to be careful of our own health. I can say this speaking to myself because I deal with it, right? To keep yourself bundled up, understand that when you're talking about hot and cold, just to drop this on folks and you go with it, right? Again, when hot and cold, and we had talked about this on the podcast before, when it's hot, right? The mucous membranes, right? We're just saying what it is. It's at its optimum, right? Stick is ready to go, right? When it's cold, it thins. As a result, whoever's hacking, coughing, getting sick from who knows what, because everybody is not bundling up and all this kind of stuff. We're trying to look cute out here and stuff, okay? That's for men and women. At the end of the day, family, once that thing come up in that nasal passage and all this kind of stuff, family, that's how you get sick. You have nothing there to protect it. So again, when it gets cold, and I understand, right? Especially in different states, we start labeling stuff. Oh, the weather is bipolar, and then this ain't to knock no what the people go through. But we're just saying, oh, well, this, that, and other. What's wrong with Mother Nature? Look. We have to be okay. This is a little starting point before we get off into the day, because this one's gonna be good. Your boy gonna be hot today. We understand we're on TikTok. We're gonna try to use some certain language, right? We're gonna try to use the TikTok language so that we can meet all of the mess that the mass will be doing. We get it. We're going to try to keep it still real, though, right? And at the end of the day, just learn and grow from there. Okay? With that said, let's do the open, let people know where they can find out the podcast and go from there. Welcome in us a different view family who believe in, who love after. This is about love. Today's conversation, family, is around love. Love for the dark brown, tan skin tone, including the pale and light skin tone people groups of the planet, family. The pale and light skin tone people groups of the planet, family. Those who love after, defend. This is about defense, specifically for the dark brown and tan skin toned brothers and sisters of the planet. Those who defend, those who hunger and thirst. This has got to be a thing like you ain't had a meal in a couple days and you hungry. Family, you know what I'm talking about? You breaking a fast, you hungry. Hunger and thirst. Search and seek to find that, which is a different view. Family, welcome in. Again, when we label today's topic is, do we understand each other? Now, before we say where we can find the podcast, let's look at the definition of the word understand, because again, the bedrock and the foundation in this podcast is understanding words and phrases. You have to understand masses language. Okay? We're going to pull from Merriam-Webster's dictionary. This is another thing. Stop believing the lie. Although research is necessary from book to book. In multiple books, there's a lot of books, especially for black folks. We can go into a lot of books that should be in our libraries, okay? Fundamental ones from the jump. One that always comes to mind because again, as we learn, we share, we truly believe this book should be in everybody's library, which is The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter Godwin Woodson. Family, in that book, from the foreword, from the jump, we can understand everybody who, we listen to dystopian or we read dystopian fictions and all these kinds of things. Family, you living in one. You are living in a dystopian reality, not in the future, right now. You're talking about when you're looking at things that are broken down, family, that's all what this dystopia it's broken down. The way Massa made this is broken down. It's not its original design. It's a copy of, and a horrible one at that. When you can't pay your workers properly, it's a horrible one at that. We got to keep arguing over that. When we can't respect each other as men and women, it is a horrible sickness that has been sewn in for what? For status? For clout? Who's clout? Masses? You mean the one that's okay, man? Say it this way. The one that's okay unaliving you at the drop of a hat? I said at the drop of a hat. It don't even mean nothing to him. Don't you know life don't mean nothing to massa? We could play you a video from Mr. Pete Hegseth. He's sitting up in, a house that black folks built. Shout out Chocolate City, Washington, D.C. one time. At the end of the day, almost like it's a joy what's going on now with our brothers and sisters in Iran. What are we doing, bro? What are we? But again, see, there's differences. Again, when we talk about the word nature deals with the characteristics of a thing. There's different characteristics that are being shown with these different people groups. Man, I'm so high. We good tonight, family. There's a different characteristics with people out there. Don't you understand? Again, we said understand, right? So in Webster's dictionary, right? To grasp the meaning of, do you think we understand the meaning of the life we live today, family? We make too many excuses, so we know that's not the case. And we all deal with different levels of understanding as we go along. Let's continue. To grasp, we're doing this one live and in living color tonight. Grasp the reasonable, like in the Bible where it tells you what we do for each other is our reasonable service. Brothers want to get patted on the back because we're there for the babies in a world that don't give a damn about kids today, man. This child essay mess that's going on all over the place, man. Let me tell you something. No massa don't give a damn about these babies. You know, when Big Mama in certain parts of the nation, or grandmama, right? Or granny, however you got to say it, right? We put too many distinctions in black culture. You know, again, with specific and general speech, you got to be okay switching back and forth. For the purposes of the podcast tonight, we'll try to let you on them, right? We are too okay making these weird distinctions where there are none. We talking about the black surfer, family, right? This is something on the books. But it would only make sense for black folks to be surfers when you living off coastline somewhere. What you think they was doing? Staying away from the water? Was they scared of it? We put too many divisions where there are none, family. No wonder we don't understand each other. We have not grasped the full meaning of it. But how could you when Massa had us in an environment where we could not read? It was illegal to read, family. It was illegal to teach the so-called dark, brown, and tan skin tone person to read, to write. I wish I could play a certain video here, but because of the music being played in the background, again, copywriting, because of Massa's theft, right? With patents and copyrights and all that kind of thing, we can't play a certain thing here. But it's a woman in Oklahoma talking of her experience going back to a boarding school, which we call plantations. We don't mess around with that over here. Not on this podcast. Though there were plantations, different types, but they were plantations. And how unmarked graves where our dear native brothers and sisters were unalived and buried. Sheol is how it's said from our Jewish brothers and sisters. That's what they gave them. You think they don't love you? They don't love you. How do we pop off with each other the way we talk about certain things? You know, they don't love you. Why would we do it to ourselves? Because we're under deception. We do not understand. We do not have a thorough check out the third definition here, right? As a transitive verb. So again, we know verbs is speaking and describing of a thing. That's what understanding is. And all thy getting. And all thy getting, get understanding is what we're told in the scriptures, right? To have a thorough or technical acquaintance with or expertness in the practice of. Let me say it again. See, we're done on the poop slinging, family. You know what we're talking about? We're done on, oh, you did this to me, and oh, I did this to you, and all that is a resounding gong That's what it said in the script. For people who do not believe in the Bible and stuff, we understand. We like to break down this thing as something that everybody can see. And again, script is saying scripture, and in script, this is like a play. William Shakespeare said it best, that all the world's a stage and the men and women have taken their places. I'm just paraphrasing. That's what it is. To have a thorough or technical acquaintance. People are not. Let's just do this. We're in real time. We don't want to take up too much of your time tonight, right? But we're just saying what it is. And again, this is going to get reposted. Okay, this is a good place to put where you can find the podcast. Spotify, that's the original OG. Shout out to Spotify family one time. You can find it on Apple and Pandora. All of them a different view. I know there's a few podcasts that have a different view, but the artist name you're looking for is KJ. That's me, right? On YouTube, because this is going to go back on YouTube. YouTube, the channel is at symbol at a different view 80. Okay, and that's again, KJ is the title, is the artist there. You can find over 200 some odd messages that we've done. We've been doing this for about a couple of years now, so a lot to talk about. So that's where we're at, right? I'm trying to think. And of course, here on TikTok, right? Your boy here on TikTok. This is the newest one, TikTok Live Nation, where we get down here a different view. So acquaint, where you get the word, acquaintance from. So this is the base of the definition of the word acquaint. To make someone familiar, to make yourself. Don't you know we don't give a damn about it? We did one about appreciation. Appreciation is where you see something and increase value. We don't appreciate each other enough to be able to acquaint, which is the part that is necessary in understanding. We're talking from Webster, Merriam-Webster's dictionary. You can't have a thorough or technical acquaintance on something unless you have made yourself familiar with. We do not make ourselves familiar with the geeks in our culture. We do not make ourselves familiar with the nerds in our culture. We do not make ourselves familiar with those who are eccentric in our culture. So we'll never understand each other until we do that. That's simple. We can continue the poop slinging back and forth like a bunch of monkeys. I wish I had the cued sound for I just do it in my own voice. Ooh, we're throwing poop everywhere. That's not going to work. Man has gone through problems. The woman has gone through problems. When we talk about this with the elders and the youth, again, we can find all the different scenarios, but this is what it is. The youth are going through their own issues. The elders have gone, whenever elders and youth go through it, I never understand that sometimes. Whatever 1950s youth was going through, who is now older now, right? You went through your own set of scenarios. The youth today is going through their own set of scenarios. If you didn't like being made fun of then, don't make fun of them now. Right? Again, we talk about all these things because today is at the basis that the video we're going to play here is at the basis of the heart of the matter. And the heart of the matter is we do not love each other. And as a result of not loving each other and not wanting to put ourselves in the environment to get acquainted, get familiar, right? Aware of, look at that, dig that, right? Shout out the conscious community one time. The word conscious just means to be aware of. For folks who getting like they're in this weird spiritual space and all that kind of stuff, at the end of the day, while some of those things may manifest themselves, it just means being aware. Just like the word war means confusion. Or informed about something. Don't you know we're not informed about the pain we're going through? Matter of fact, most of the times, off the preconceived notions we have, we don't even know because we have not informed ourselves about what that specific person's going through. It's like we're built to not deal with each other's pain. Like hey, how you doing today is just supposed to be a superficial conversation. If you get into for real what you go through, maybe max about 10 to 20 minutes into the conversation, some poop slinging is going to start, family. That is the byproduct of a degraded thinking, not an elevated one. Because when we see something, we're going to recognize all of the different patterns by which something can show up in someone's life, and then we give them validity for that. And it changes how we would listen to each other. So let's get into this. We're going to get into some historical documents, okay? By which this video that occurs, someone could not have known none of this, or has had a complete disregard for of any of it, which shows a lack of gravity in the mind, and those we must be aware of and avoid, right? So, and again, this is not for division, this is for understanding, this is for education, okay? So please leave a lot of, let the defenses go. This is an exercise in letting the defenses go and just hear what's going on. Then we're going to come back, right? It's a 2-minute video. Again, very popular right now, right? Shout out to TMZ in the group for breaking it, right? And this is your boy giving a take on what we have heard, right? So again, this is bleeped. This is going to have some of the adult language to this. So this is a, again, if you don't want to hear what is or is not being said, this is probably the first time on the podcast that we're using a video here, but this is important that we must talk about this. So thankfully, TMZ did the due diligence to bleep out a lot of stuff. Maybe as we go along, as we're learning in the space, because again, this is we're a rookie podcaster. We don't play in that space of all the, I know everything. Everybody learns something at some point. So we absorb the learning and the growing as we go, and then we go from there. But thankfully, this is bleeped out here. Y'all can hear this. For those who haven't heard it, this is the first time you're hearing it. And for those who have, just sit back and let's, again, we'll add the pieces. All of these things you hear from all these different podcasters are pieces of the puzzle. Okay, nobody is, you go in this thing and this person 100% right. I'm giving my view, somebody else gives theirs, right? So let's get it in.
Times that I will always and forever say that I fucking hate n***ers. Oh my god, I fucking hate n***ers. Like, I hate y'all. Like, I don't we were slaves this entire, I don't give a but like, for a reason you guys were slaves. You guys don't know anything better than the steal. Like, oh my god, like, I was literally eating food with my friend. He had his, oh my god, like, I don't know, por Dios, por gracias de Dios, I had my wallet next to me, like my whole purse, and those like that.
Just for fair use, we want to stop it here. Just because people play a game, we're at around 30 some odd seconds. Again, most of what Massa does plays in the space when you're talking about copyrights, patents, all this stuff with video, audio, all that. So fair use is there. So we're gonna stop it here. How could this young woman be enlightened on any level, right? And then you using the language that is given you by the conquistador, right? We're talking in Spain, family. This is on the books. How the massa for our Latin brothers and sisters, right? Again, we're saying Latin, we're saying Hispanic. No, we're not playing in the space like Latin is, especially in South America, like Latin America. No. The Latin is coming from a language that is spoken from Rome, right? We know this, okay? The breakdown of certain things that is also in Spain or Spanish speaking. That's not the tribal people that were living in Puerto Rico. That's not how they were speaking, right? That's not the tribal people who were living over in the Dominican Republic, Cuba, Mexico, and all of Central America, all the different, Honduras, Venezuela. Clearly the massa has no problem going in and invading for their oil, but I digress. At the end of the day, see, again, we don't understand the real enemy at the door. We playing games with all this kind of mess, but why would you doubling down using two different types of language? One is given to you by Massa, which is the racial slurs by which you have to talk about the dark brown and tan skin tone people of the planet. Because when you look at that term, if you're going back into the 1911 dictionary for that word, because it's on the books, that word that we should skip over is in there on the books, and it tells you the different people that they regarded as, we're just saying, again, the 1911 Oxford Dictionary definition of this word she keeps using. They have a disrespect for people. We're talking Massa now. They do not give a damn. And we playing around in a space with them. And it's dangerous. It's dangerous. Okay? Let's continue.
Little small shit decided not to steal my wallet. Oh my god, I would have grabbed my heel and like, what the out of that? But like, whatever, right? But no, or nothing. Y'all don't know how good it felt to say like out loud. Like, God damn.
How far down in your mind do you have to be to utter the phrase, it felt good to say, beep? Huh? Brothers and sisters, we do not laugh at the pain of which black, again, dark brown and tan skin tone folks have gone through. Okay? We're not laughing at that. We're laughing at the foolishness that's, again, fool. Let's do it. Let's do it in real time, right? Your brothers just, we fool's definition, fam. All you gotta do, full definition, okay? Okay, we understand once you get past all of the, let's do this from, let's do this in real time. We want to, because they're giving me something else here, but we want the Oxford's Oxford, okay? Let's see here. Once you get past clowns and court jesters and all these kinds of things, wicked and sinful and foolishness, there is a definition that deals with dealing in deceit, family. So let's just keep looking here. Let's see, an immoral, sinful person, someone appearing ridiculous, foolish and stupid. That's normally where it always goes. Let's just see here. In phrases, this is his phrases. Let's just see here. Fool deals in when you, let me see if they did it here. You could have fooled me. That again, using to express, again, fooled me. Fooled me is dealing with tricked me. Comment, to make a fool of someone, to trick or deceive someone so they appear foolish. We're just looking this up, just online, family. That's the part we're talking about, not the person's intelligence, what you're doing. Fooling means to trick or deceive, family. Where you can get the phrase to fool someone. So again, this young lady is operating in foolishness. When you talk about it felt good for you to be able to say that, how does that? You don't know you don't know you. There's no knowledge of self or others or God or devil. There's nothing there because you don't talk like this when that happens, right? Let's continue.
Like, oh my God, I felt like I was back in the Marine Corps. Like, I kid you not. I don't know what.
I'm sorry, y'all, right, for the pauses, right? Again, you can find this. I mean, it's on her Instagram. I'm pretty sure she took it down. We're gonna get into the backlash of it, right? But just for the intents and purposes of establishing this, she sat here and said these things, right? And then she's talking about, yo, man, I feel like you back in the Marine Corps. Family, what we said about the military here, and unfortunately, this is not for everybody. Again, for those who do not operate, we're talking inside the military, who do not operate in the mean boy and girl way by which Massa has set this thing up to be done. If y'all ain't down with that, please raise up your hand high that you stand against this mess. But for the rest who do, we see you. We ain't trying to like hurt you back and all that. That's what you do with us. That's the nature by which we don't operate that way, but we will defend ourselves, right? We protect ourselves from this kind of hateful rhetoric. Okay, you learn this in the Marine Corps. I don't care, Marine Corps, Air Force, Navy, or the Army. I don't care. You a Green Beret or a Navy SEAL, it don't mean a damn when it comes to mess like this. How you gonna protect life and also hate on it at the same time? Devil a liar. At the end of the day, the way I heard it, which is the truth, and it helped me put all the two and two together. The military is where older YT men tell younger YT men who to unalive. And that's how a lot of this mess come out, because what you have to do is establish a base. You could use belief to do it, or I should say religion, because again, religion is dealing with an organization around what you believe. Every time you look at the word religion, somewhere along the line, when you get past the different, but like beliefs and all that, it's going to say something about an organization, like a building, something around what you believe. That's what religion is. This is not you believe in mushrooms. This is you have to make an organization around folks believing in mushrooms. It gets a little funky when that happens, because now you restrict creativity. We know our Christian brothers and sisters are going to say opposite on this, but then again, like Drewski called you out, you got to make sure we come in to give that bag every Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, whenever the doors open, so that somebody can be Christian, because you win Christian Louboutins, right? And Christian Dior stuff, because you are washed in the blood of Jesus. You make a mockery of holy things, and it's time we said it. We could play another clip of another preacher having improper schmexual relations with another member in the church. How many times do we have to keep looking at this? Again, judgment starts in God's house. I'm not worried about our Muslim brothers and sisters. I'm not worried about our Jewish brothers and sisters, Buddhist, Hinduist, Taoist, Confucianist, if you want to say it that way. Native beliefs of all different native and indigenous tribes I don't care. We're talking about the one that I subscribe to, where we talk about judgment. This mess is wrong. You had the slave up in the balcony, and they still got churches. Family, this is on the books. They kept the slaves in the balconies. We talking the Episcopal, right? There's a few churches on it. Man, see, again, like sometimes people like playing in a space that is dangerous mentally, and then we don't like talking about it on the back end, and we excuse ourselves out the room like, oh, excuse me. That's not that's not what this is. So let's just see. Catholic churches, Protestant churches, Episcopalian churches, Baptist churches, Methodist churches, Presbyterian churches, where you get the AME and the AME Zion churches from, family. Primarily at the beginning, they wanted to get away from this mess, because you couldn't worship with your own brothers and sisters. They had you enslaved, family. They believed it. They sang, bringing in the sheaves. They did all that while the slaves were either in the balconies or in the basements. This is on the books. We're done on making excuses for this kind of garbage this girl is saying out her mouth. Let me see if your boy can calm down a little bit. Let her finish up.
Came over to me, I grabbed that by the neck, and I was like, come here, you fucking. And oh my god, like I felt like the world just stopped. Like it was just peace. Like I don't know. And then he was just like even I in my head, I was like, damn, te pasaste, because I called him a dog. Like imagine if the downtown were there, they could have beaten my ass. And then he like stops like, hey, no, just call me a I was like, you're a I was like, oh my god, like you're a and I called you a like world peace. And I was like, what the are you gonna possibly say? Like, are you gonna call 911 because I called you a no, right? Oh my god, I don't know. This didn't record, but it was like I'm kind of glad it didn't record, because it was like me expressing how much I hated black people after this. Like, dog, like.
Hey sister, listen. You operating in a weird space here, because let's just be honest. Those by which are your role model for the way you talking about the dark brown and tan skin tone people groups of the planet, at the end of the day, they're bold enough to say what they got to say. You ever seen some of these videos when they start getting our face? They ain't. She talking about she ashamed. What you ashamed of? We know, because your conscience is bothering you off the garbage, off the crap you are saying. But, it shows itself. Why would she sit there and say, well, I'm glad it wasn't recorded? What you mean you glad it wasn't recorded? I don't. This live is going on right now. We're sitting here talking the truth right now. We know Massa plays in space where they shut down things and they shadow ban stuff and they play all this garbage. We saying at the end of the day, but again, you restricting any time that Massa's ruling and reigning. Don't you know knowledge is at its low point? The common people don't know nothing. It's only the nobles and stuff. Again, this is on the books. Because when you go up into Europe and stuff, meanwhile, they had their own Great Maids War. Y'all can look that up. It said something different. Shout out to the British Bridgerton TV show, cast, production team, all at one time. In the current season, right? Again, me and the missus watching this thing. Shout out to you, honey, right? Bringing me along on the journey. This is one we decided to do, right, family? Again, we can, there's some YT people mess. I don't want to, no, you better go look in that window. They looking in yours. You better go look in that window and see all of the mess that's going on, family, because it affects your life. It affects your life. And in that season, they didn't want to pay their maids. Then they got them in forced labor. They didn't want to pay their maids properly. Where else have we seen that before? Again, the Great Maids War. You go type that in. Google going to tell you it's something else, right? ChatGPT will say that they said it a different way over there, which they did. But again, on the books, this is how they operated over in Victorian. Same thing. There's a what did I say it's called? It's like an assembly. It was like an assembly resistance in Victorian England, and it had a certain name to it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I'm just doing it off the fly. I ain't committed it to. Excuse me. Yeah, and they mentioned it. It shocked me when I'm like, wait a minute, what? I had to pause the thing. Like, oh, my wife is gonna get mad at me, but anyway. Now, this one's the Chartist movement. This is from the 1838 to 1850s, right? The first mass working class movement in Britain. Again, family, we've always said, it's called the Chartist, CHARTIST movement. Activists organized. I don't think this is actually the one that's in Bridgerton season 4, episode 6, I believe. I don't think that's the one that they said, but y'all go back, fact check me on and drop it in the comments. This was the first mass working class movement in Britain. Activists organized large public assemblies, conventions, and marches to demand political rights. Again, we know the word politic just means talking about city-state. So they wanted the rights in their own city-state. This, right? Again, they split up city-state. Now we say city or state today, but it's just a play on words. Okay. Including universal male suffrage, so I guess rights for men, just to boil it down. Holding mass meetings. Again, they stop people from assembling. Where else do we see that? Oh yeah, that's in the black and the slave codes. Massa did not want black folks assembling for their freedom. They didn't want them coming together talking. No wonder it's hard for us to talk with each other today, but I digress. This is how you can have birth inside a society mess like this. All of our, again, just using the words that we're given here to say, all of our Latin, Hispanic brothers and sisters need to stand up against this kind of garbage. They put a casta system over them. The Spanish. You can only go so high. Who were they to regulate life? Who are you? You didn't make it. How can you unmake it? But only people under deception in the mind would believe that mess. Let's try to finish this thing on out.
Let me get a black person on a 911 call tomorrow, especially you're going to jail. I don't give a you're getting treated like a bunch of
Now, that's the end of the video, right? Here's my thing. That I'm pretty sure not the rest of, because this was 2 minutes of this mess, right? I'm pretty sure all of the 2 minutes was not the part that, because everybody talks like this about black folks. Dark brown and tan skin tone folks. We know when you look at the darkest people in the different places of Africa, they're not black. They're close to black, okay? Black is like, a mic stand, the color of a lighter, the color of a pen, right? You know, color of a water bottle, that's black. That is not the dark skin-toned people that the colonizer, or explorer, invaders said, right? Just different versions of invaders. Except we don't look at it that way, but that's part of the colonization. Anyway, at the end of the day, family, when they came over here doing that mess, out of their own mouths, they said that it was near black. Because you brown, you just dark brown. Like, you know, ebony, mahogany. Come on, talk to me, family. And no, we ain't talking the Ebony Ivory song. With ebony. Anyway. So let's get into some documents here. Because again, you know, she clearly don't know her history. Because you don't talk this way unless you know it. You know? Again, the way Maya Angelou, and it's crazy, right? Because we feel a certain way. We have to minister to each other's pain. The ministry of reconciliation is how it's said in the Bible, in the script. We understand, like, our Christian brothers and sisters are going to go to a certain place, and, you know, that's like for the preacher and the pastor, and we get where you go with that. Each one of us has been given the ministry of reconciliation. I wonder why. Y'all look up the word reconcile. Maya Angelou's quote, "I've learned that people will forget what you said." And that's very true. The attention span it's interesting when you look at it, right? People will forget what you did. Also very true. What have you done for me lately? That's what they say, right? Especially as a Cowboy fan. And best believe, as long as Jerry Jones is on that seat, don't think about the Cowboys winning no Super Bowl. Don't you even think about it. I don't care if they start off 4-0. Don't you think? That team from the front office is not designed for winning like it was back in the 90s, so it ain't gonna work. That's the same thing for our, again, being a Yankees fan. Don't you think now for 1 second that team winning any kind of World Series till they get it right in the pitching staff, and that we can do all the excuses we want to till they get it right in it. Again, your boy really don't get into sports because again, they're winning. We're not. Right, so the distraction is the baseball season in the middle, and the home runs or whoever does a play and all that kind of stuff. But again, you talking about a league that's benefited off the Negro leagues. How can you really get hype about that? Anyway, the Yankees ain't winning nothing until they get that front office right, who really cares about putting pitching and defense first instead of crushing home runs all over Yankee Stadium. We ain't that ain't won nothing. That ain't anyway. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And this is the issue we have between professional wrestling and sports entertainment. Shout out Chris Jericho for doing that whole storyline in AEW. Sorry, that was the wrong button. Right? Because there's a difference. And all the people who just got released in WWE, man, we understand they're making room for they're making room for NXT talent. That's all what that is. Unfortunately, right? Aleister Black going to have to figure out whether he wants to be Malachi Black or something else, along with his wife Zelina Vega, who had her comments to say about WWE. We know this new Hulk Hogan documentary, depending on how you say it. Some people say documentary, right? We know there's going to be a lot of love Hulk Hogan, and again, we are thankful for the part of the contribution to that which is sports entertainment. But what you had to say about dark folks, brother, we're good. That's why you got booed. That's why when they did the Netflix thing. What do you think people was booing you for? What do you think? Again, rest in peace. The brother is not here. We understand all that. We're just saying, like, what do you think people were booing you for? This same kind of mess that came out this woman, Ashley Gonzalez's mouth, right? Just some documents to put on the table. Now, this one is coming from documents printed by, let me just read it real quick. Let me just read it real quick. Let me go back here to read this to y'all. Documents printed by the order of the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts during the session of the General Court in 1847. 1847. This thing is still on the books in the General Commonwealth Courthouse Representatives in Massachusetts. Okay. And this is something you can still find online. Or again, we may put this in the tagline in the description or whatever, but again, documents printed. It's a little bit of a paragraph. Okay. The documents printed by the order of the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts during the session of the General Court, 1847. Within this document here, let me just put the mute, as I didn't put the mute on the phone here. So hopefully everybody has not been hearing bells and whistles. If you have, my apologies, right? Your boy is notorious for that when he does these things. This is page 8 here. That's talking about how the people groups over in Mexico. Since this is an Hispanic brother, it's a Hispanic sister here. We don't know if she's Mexican. If she is, again, y'all shout me out in the comments. Talking about the Rio Bravo, the Rio Grande River in Texas, right? Number one, they have no problem in letting you know. Let's see. Yeah. Title under a subtitle here. This is page 6. Texas was annexed. Annex means they took it. Okay, that's what the word annex means. Annex means they took it, and of course we know that. Okay, we know when we talk about the border of Mexico how it's adjusted to be cute about it by the U.S. government because they come in and take your stuff. Again, as our brothers and sisters from the Nation of Islam say, that God to them is gold, oil, and diamonds. It could be gold, oil, and again, we'll just do this. We'll break this one rule. Drugs, right? It could be gold, oil, and dirt. I've added that one in because again, wherever land is involved, they come in, and they're gonna use whatever they got to use, twist up whatever they got to twist up. And yes, we said it, brothers and sisters. Everything. We understand people are going in the Bible and this, that, and the other. Again, it's to a certain specific thing that we're going to. We're not looking at the rest of it. Now, whether you discredit it or not, it's your business. But there's some truths there to see. Right? Proverbs, the Psalms, there's truths there to see. Okay? At the end of the day, and again, to whether people do or not, it's your business. I'm not here to do all that. But what I am saying is there is some truth there. And when we're talking about coming to take wherever it is, the thief cometh, but for to kill, excuse me, we on TikTok, unalive, steal, and destroy. The opposite, right? The I am come, right? Especially in the black community, they say that the black man and woman is God. Okay, I am come, that you might have life and have it more abundantly. Not when we get the glory. We ain't waiting for that. We're talking about right here, where we take a stand right here first, because we give an account for what we do down here. And it is not okay to support stuff like what this woman is saying out of her mouth. She's a grown woman, even though she's young, she's a grown woman. That's why she said there's certain things I wouldn't say around certain people, because if I was in a certain area, they'd beat my ass. Yeah, they would beat your ass, sis. What do you... There's something wrong, family, in the mind of people. There's a sickness there. As it's been said, poison and rust is there. It's just time to get that good WD-40 out. Oil up them rusty places again. No, Texas was taken, family, right? What was the territory? This is their open talking here. This is page 6 I'm looking at here. I think it's page 6. It could be said something different here. A lot of these things, all this stuff, I'm gonna wind up getting these books. I'm gonna wind up getting these documents. We've already opened up Kindle account and we're just putting books, documents. We keeping a record of it because we know massa plays in the space, but we take away knowledge. We want to keep it. This is the record of our lives, family. You understand what I'm saying? Black folks' dealings with the other brown and tan skin tone people on the planet. They lying to you when they talk to you about we was all enemies. We weren't. We all got our scuffles. We weren't enemies though. Texas was annexed, and the question arises: what was the territory which had thus been torn from Mexico and incorporated into our republic? Okay, pause. So they know it. They know what they're talking about. All right, let's go on down here now to page 8. excuse me, right about the middle of the page, in the House of Representatives, the chairman of the Committee of Foreign Affairs, Mr. C.J. Ingersoll, on the 3rd of February, 1845. So it's April 28th. We talking, 2026. This is back in 1845. So before the Civil War. This is the hotbed stuff, man. I mean, massive moving back then, man. Again, throughout the whole thing, right? Massive been playing around, but massive move. I mean, we setting it up. In the 1800s with the Reconstruction period was they stamp on it to keep it that. We're just saying what it is. You get little stuff with like the Racial Integrity Act. See, this is why we say, family, listen, it's just time to recognize, again, discernment. Just recognize certain people. So like her talking, as black folks, that would probably be somebody you wouldn't want to date or marry or have kids with, right? Because that's not going to be conducive for what's going on. Two people, again, unequally yoked. So that's not going to work. We're not talking about unbelievers and believers in this standpoint of she don't believe in the honesty and the integrity of the black culture because you're talking out on it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're not around those people. We don't mean you no harm per se, but we ain't dealing with you, right? Mr. C.J. Ingersoll on the 3rd of February, 1845, made his remarkable declaration to the same effect. He said, now you check this out. The stupendous deserts between the Nueces and the Bravo rivers, those who are down in Texas, y'all know what we're talking about. Shout out our Texan brothers and sisters one time. Are the natural boundaries. Don't you know even this is talking as our nation of Islam brothers and sisters say, don't you know even the devil's got to recognize the power of God, man. The natural boundaries. Again, devil just mean adversary. Stop tripping, family. We ain't talking about no pitchfork, none of that. Ooh. Devil is adversary, okay? Again, the thief. Beyond reasonable doubt. We had talked about that in one of the words that we were talking about. Y'all can go back in the old episodes to see. But we don't convict, because convict means this is what you did. This is what you did. They are the top of the class when it comes to this mess. Spreading around societies don't make no sense. It don't make no damn sense. Everything got to be a party and no. And then wait. So now you could do that over in Victorian era England, but then you have a problem when your Caribbean brother and sister has carnival and they're celebrating their freedom with that. That's not just any old party, man. That's a holy thing there. That's a revered thing there. Through partying, reveling, and drinking probably that good rum and dancing that good dance. Come on now, family. But at the end of the day, they're celebrating freedom. We about to do it here in a couple of days here. Shout out May 5th one time. What do we think May 5th is all about? It's fighting its revolution. It's fighting against those that meant to enslave people, family. That's the point. Never mind. So you're going to tip back a Corona and have a good tortilla and get a quesadilla or some tortas. You're going to try to get some street tacos depending on where you're living in the country. We're going to do all this, not recognize the holiness of the day. Celebrating freedom. So you may want to dance that bachata a little bit harder. The stupendous deserts between the Nueces and the Bravo rivers are the natural boundaries between the Anglo-Saxon, let's keep it 100, we talking the 1840s. And when you go back and you look in like the 900s and the thousands, I should say the thousands, 1100s, them Anglo-Saxon wars, man, this is people. Again, we just talked to you about the Great Maid War. We talked to you about these different things. They stopped their own assembly that you can look. So again, if they do this with their own family, what you think they're doing with you? They do worse. They do worse with you. Okay. Again, it's on the books that the weapon of defense and alcohol were illegal for the slave to have back then. I wonder why. But as soon as you get free up off that, we free. We gonna celebrate it this upcoming June. We free, right? And hallelujah, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. But at the end of the day, the physical shackles on the feet and on the arms dropped, but they were left in our mind. That's how this woman could say anything like she said. Because if she knew how close we were, she wouldn't say it. She would know it's deception. Between the Anglo-Saxon and the Mauritanian races, y'all look up, you look up what the Mauritanians look like, okay? And there ends up, we like leaving homework for folks. There ends the Valley of the West, okay? There Mexico begins. Now you look at the Bravo River, look at that boundary going all the way up. Just look at it in your mind, see it go. Again, you can look at the old maps of what Mexico looked like, but just look at that part from Texas and just go all the way up. That's Mexico. We're just saying what it is. Thence, beyond the Bravo, begins the Moorish people. Moor was for black folks back then. Shakespeare, now going in the 1500s, blackamoor, right? That's a word that they use to describe our people. Again, it's something you're gonna look up. We ain't even planning and getting into books and all this kind of stuff, because now the knowledge, again, when mass is on the decline, this is where knowledge is found all over. This is where you get your Renaissance, you get sciences all over the place. When control is less, then you have it come up you know what I'm saying? It just comes up the opposite way. But when that thing is at its height, yeah, nobody knows nothing. Okay. You'll have the nobles know something, the king and queen will know something, but the serfs and the Slavs, slaves, Slav, right? You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. They're gonna twist up the knowledge on you, let you know who you fighting against and all this kind of stupidity, right? There ends the Valley of the West, there Mexico begins, thence beyond the Bravo begin the Moorish people and their Indian associates. Again, Indian, we know, is a broad term here used for the indigenous people of the land, family. And a broad term used by Massa for the indigenous people of the land. Mexicans and black folks was friends. This is like God talking into the desert of Adam's mind after he pulled the foolishness he pulled between him, his maker, and the woman in his life. And at the end of the day, not taking responsibility, brothers, we can sit there and wiggle in our chairs and thoughts and all this kind of stuff as much as we want to. That's what it is. And the sooner that we understand it, the quicker the healing will begin. Moorish people and the Indian associates, to whom Mexico properly belonged. Dig that. So the next time you go down to the Cabos, San Lucas, right? Cabo Wabo. Just know, we friends. We're associates. We do business together. Maybe it's time for black folks and Central Americans to have a chat, huh? Anyway. Who should not cross that vast desert if they could, as we on our side, they're recognizing there needs to be a split. As we on our side too ought to stop there, because interminable conflicts. Of course, you don't want to be around us. For those who do, I must continue to reiterate this. Repetition is necessary for learning. So for those of the pale and light skin tones who do not, hey, I'm not like that, everybody. Okay, this is the time for you to stand up and join with those who were associates. And to be quite frank, are associates. We just don't recognize it yet. We haven't woken up to the truth yet. Venezuela sits on 300 plus billion barrels of oil, family. Do you know how we should be balling? Anyway. Nobody said it wouldn't come with a little bit of stress for Massa, because they don't want you. They don't really want you for real having this. Again, this is on the books and history, family. Anywhere where you're balling, they take it. That's how it works. Again, if you stand against that, then it's time to stand against that. And it don't have to look violent. We ain't talking about none of that. See, they pick up the pitchforks and the fire sticks to come burn down Tulsa, to come burn down Rosewood, to to come burn down all of the multiple black towns that was the black hub, which was the state of, or AKA Indian Territory, which is Oklahoma. It's on the books. Why do you think they look torn down the way they are now? Anyway, lies, tricks, and deceit. That's how they rule. And the word trick means a skillful illusion, by the way. We should not cross that vast desert if they could, as we on our side too ought to stop there, because interminable conflicts must ensue, our going south or their coming north of that gigantic boundary. While peace is cherished, they got this in italics, that boundary will be sacred. I'm just pausing here to look at the rest of. So my apology on the mic, on the dead air in the mic there. I guess since we're on TikTok, on a live air, I don't even know how you would say that as far as that technical term with speaking. The back end of this, we'll just read it here just to finish off the thought. Not till the spirit of conquest rages will the people on either side. Can we spell? I don't know. MOLEST. I mean, we'll just do it that way, right? We're gonna do it like we're doing with kids, okay? Or mix with each other, and whenever they do, one or the other races. Look at that, man. One or the other races must be conquered. See, the spirit of conquest. Who you conquering, bro? Who we conquering? So we ain't here to conquer. We're here to enjoy together. This is the whole thing when we get into intercultural marriages and relationships, or I like to say intercultural because there's no race. So when you say interracial, who you racing? Who are you racing? This is not a competition. We understand Massa has made one. This is why they say racism is a social construct. But we ain't, no. We ain't out here racing. Slow down, damn it. Slow down and smell these roses, man. And all of them, shout out to Outkast, man, but all of them don't smell like poo. Family, again, if the bee can if cross-pollination happen in with bees in the insect kingdom and plants and all that, I'm pretty sure it can happen with the humans. We are creating divisions where there are none, and we are dying. We are unaliving while Massa is okay taking our stuff and just wasting it. You see all the parties and all the weight. We talk about this with food all the time, all the food waste and everything. Just wasting things. We overeating, getting fat as hell, while just wasting our resources. Meanwhile, your native brother and sister, your Mexican brother and sister, including black folks, especially on the plantation, we was taught to cherish all of the food. We ain't wasting nothing. They'll sit there and unalive a deer and hang it from a wall in their office. This is how they look at things, family. It's trophies. It's stuff. People are more than that. Yes, Lord. People are more than that. Anyway, family, that's where I'm gonna stop. That's a good spot to stop. Family, just know when you talking about this life, man, the man lying to you, he lying to you, and some of us are parroting that lie. We got no more time for that. This is about loving each other. This is about understanding each other. This is about holding truth and justice, the true American way. That was here way before Europe came calling, and that will last long after they're gone. And we ain't going nowhere. Yeah, we know. Again, the dynamic here is to not allow people in peace unfortunately, without a fight. Let me just do this here then. We didn't hit that hour, so we got to do that little puzzle piece. Pharaoh never lets the people go, family. There's always a point when we have to, again, contend for the faith. Okay? We know our Christian brothers and sisters are not going to like how I'm doing that, but that's what it is. Okay? Family, that's what I got for y'all today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for walking this road with your boy. Again, this was necessary to talk about, right? And we had to play the video. We had to play the video because, again, we need people to hear. We need people to hear. Faith come by hearing, family. We need to hear the mess that we are perpetuating in our communities because that's why we're failing. It's time for unity to reign again. So that's what I got for y'all today, family. Thank you, or tonight, family, right? Thank you for walking this road with me. I love y'all, right? God bless y'all. And until next time, and as always, look to find the beauty in a different view.